The LMS that we're using is CTLS, Cobb Teaching Learning System. As students log in to this CTLS, they will then have all of their classes that they are to choose from. So the students will click on the class that they are wanting. So ours is going to be Virtual Middle School, Math 6-7. Instructors are Jennifer Cassidy and Susan Carruthers. When the kids log in to the class, they will see several different sections. The instructors, class board, announcements. And on the left-hand side, My Classes takes you back to your original classes, Home, Digital Sessions, Resources, Assignments, Discussions, and Assessments. So let's look at each of the individual sections. The first section are the instructors. As I open up each of the individual instructors, we have Jennifer Cassidy and Susan Carruthers. We have inside of there, have a picture of each of us, our email, phone number, and a brief statement about who we are. All right, those are the teachers. The next section is class board. On the class board, we have the virtual middle school calendar and our syllabus. So when we click on the virtual middle school calendar, it will lead us to the Cobb County calendar. All right, so I'm going to click on the calendar, and it leads us to the calendar so that you can see month in advance, year, etc. Back into my class, I can then scroll down to the syllabus. In our syllabus, we have our instructors, how to contact us, which days and times, when our help sessions and our virtual office hours are. And they are usually on Wednesdays. We have our units of study, first semester and second semester. Right? And as we enter it, sometimes for some reason it looks great on the teacher side, but when you get into the student side, this is one of the negatives, it kind of scrunches it up. So this is one of the things that our system is working on right now, because it kind of messes up. It looks perfect on the teacher side. We're still working on the student side. So we have our we have our units of study, first and second semester, our grade distribution with our formative and summative assessments, our schedule. We are on block schedule. That means instead of meeting every single day for 50 minutes, we meet every other day for 90 minutes. We have A days and B days. So instead of having 10 days, we actually have 5 modules because it is 2 days in one module. Our textbook resources are Glencoe, Georgia Math 6+. Our homework policy is you'll see a small amount of homework every day. Late work policy, we have explains how our late work is set up. Grade recover policy, if kids make a mistake on their tests or quizzes, how to recoup some of those points back. Our advanced content policy, what we need to do for the kids to stay in AC classes. And our netiquette, how we expect them to behave online. We also have our system requirements. And our system requirements, what they need for a classroom, for our virtual learning classroom. Section, we have our announcement. We have our learning objectives. We have our 5 modules, module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also have our objectives for each of the modules, all right, which are loaded all down here. All right, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you into the digital sessions. So I'm going to click on digital sessions. And in our digital session, we have our help session. This will be when students need to come to us for our virtual office hours or our help sessions when students are needing help. They would click on this button. At this point in time, when we have the virtual office hours or when our little classes, extra classes are meeting, they would join the live classroom. It would become green when we are available. We're going to go back to our digital sessions and we're going to scroll down to each of our modules. All right, we have 5 total modules plus an extra module, module 0, which is basically before our class starts, just getting to know you. So let's look at module 0. As I click in module 0, if we were to have a live classroom session, it would be green up here, but students can work on their own through the sections. So, agenda modules for module 0, please complete each step in numerical order. Learning targets, I can understand the concept of a ratio and use ratio language to describe a ratio relationship between 2 quantities. All right, the first thing we did was 1, Flipgrid introduction, and number 2, video ratio song. Now for some reason, It went in fine on teacher version, but it just got shifted and we're missing an A. Not sure what happened, but it's okay. Kids will live with it. So the Flipgrid introduction, what you're going to do is the kids will click on the link, which will take them straight to the Flipgrid. They're going to be either, if they need the passcode, is right here, but they shouldn't need it. Then students will create a short video introducing themselves and to their class and respond to the following questions. What do you know about ratios, rates, and proportional reasoning? What do you want to know about ratios, rates, proportional reasoning? And do you think you can use this unit in real life as an adult? So the first thing kids are going to do, they're going to click on the Flipgrid. All right, and then right here, it says we're going to give the introduction, what I want them to do, and then they're going to record a response. Now there's already one response down here, and that's from Miss Carruthers and myself, where it was an introduction. I'll play a little bit of it, and then we're not going to be able to play the whole thing because of limited time.
Hey guys, my name is Miss Kathleen.
Now, as you go, it keeps going. Basically, it tells you what I want them to do, and they will reply with their own Flipgrid. Students have completed number 1, the Flipgrid. They're going to go on to number 2, the video ratio song. So they're going to click on this song, and after the song, after they watch it, they're going to then go into ClassKick, and they're going to explain how to see ratios, rates, and proportions being used in the real world. They are to use the racist strategy to respond to the statement, and they'll write it in ClassKick. So let's look at the link on the ratio song real quick.
1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of...
Let's study ratios, they compare values you should know. A fraction is how it is shown.
Right, once students have gone all the way through the video, it explains a little bit about ratios and how you use it in real life. The students are then going to go back to the digital session, and they're going to go into ClassKick. So let's go there next. At this point in time, they've watched the video. Now they're going to go into ClassKick. So let's see where that takes us. Now the first time, the students are going to need to sign up. So they're going to have a class code that gets them into the section, and they'll type in their name, and they're going to sign up. So they're going to be continuing with the portfolio, so that way they can keep track of all their lessons. All right, so let's log in. All right, at this point in time, not right here, just in case they forgot a lot of it, they've also got the song that they could click right here, and it pulls the video up. So in case they need it, they've got it again. So that's kind of really neat. That's what I love about this program. So the video is loaded into the program. Now here, number 2, respond below to the prompt using the racist strategy. Now this is something that our school really focuses on, the racist strategy, where they restate the question, answer the question, cite, explain, and summarize. So they are to explain how you see ratios, rates, and proportions being used in the real world. Use the racist strategy to respond to the statement. At this point down here, the students will then click on the T. That's going to bring up a box, and they could start typing whatever they're wanting to tell me. Now they can do it that way. Now if a student is not good at typing, or that's very hard for them to type, they're also up here. There's a couple other things they can do. They can leave me a voice message and an audio. So they can click on start recording. So I could say, all right, this is how you do with this give me all the example they can of what they're doing. Stop and save. And then they can move this down here. So Miss Cassidy can
All right, this is how you do with this
So this is how the students can leave me a voice message instead of typing it up. All right, let's go on back. All right, once they're back in the digital session, we're going to click back to the digital sessions. We're now going to go to Module 1. Module 1 has the overview, our essential question, what kinds of problems can I solve using ratios? The learning target, I can understand the concept of a ratio and use ratio language through Desmos, Edpuzzle, and ClassKick. Then understand the concept of a ratio and use ratio language to describe a rational relationship between two quantities. That's my objective. So, introduction to ratios and equivalent ratios. students will use ratios to determine the number of balloons needed to float different types of objects. So this is an excellent site, Desmos.com. So we're going to click on Desmos. And then they're going to join. We've got our code. They're going to join. All right, give me a second to log in. All right, so while we're in this system, what we're going to do is we're going to click on Balloon Float because they said to work on Balloon Float first. And the first thing we're going to do is watch the video.
Lifted by helium balloons. A Calgary man flew upward into the sky last night on a chair.
So the really cool thing is that now what's the first question that comes to your mind after watching this video, if any? So you're going to type in, what was he thinking? All right, and then you're going to share it with the class. Now, another one, all the kids are going to be typing in all their responses, and then you're going to go next. And then what you're going to do is it's discovery learning. You're starting to learn about ratios. So flying high with balloons, you get to try it, what happens, and you keep going through it. And it just takes you through looking at ratios. How do you know it took 4 balloons to make the duck float? The duck weighs 56 grams. With 1 balloon, how many grams could you make that float? So then you type in how many you think, submit, and then you're going to go to the next section. Now the teacher can control it by keeping students on one section at a time, one slide at a time, or they can let you go at your own pace. So this you can either be done synchronously or asynchronously. This time, once what the students are going to do is they're going to click on edpuzzle.com link. Here, the first, it told us that we're going to be watching 2 videos on equivalent ratios with Mr. J, how to find equivalent ratios, and ratio revision, what are ratios. So what students are going to do is they're going to click on the link, the first link. Now there are more below, but that's through the entire thing. They're going to go module by module. So the first module 1 says we're going to stick with 2 of them. So I'm going to click on it, and then they're going to watch the videos. Now as they go through the video, they're going to hit these. These are questions. It'll either be a comment or a question they want to be answered. So if I click on it.
Welcome to Math with Mr. J.
Now I'm going to scroll through it. Oh, it won't let me.
In this video.
But once you get to these, it'll stop you, and the kids cannot go past, and they cannot fast forward at their own will. They have to go with it. Now they can always review it, rewind it, but they cannot fast forward it. Now once they've watched the videos and they've taken notes in their math notebook, they're now going to use that for their practice. This is non-graded informal assessments and independent practice. So they're going to apply their knowledge learned in the notes from previously from edpuzzle.com, and they're going to click on ClassKick number 1, ratios. They're going to be getting teacher feedback within ClassKick. So I'm going to show you the student side and the teacher side. We're in. They've got the first page, which read through this page and return if needed. So it gives you some critical information on how to solve how to do the problems. There are 14 slides. This is slide 1 out of 14. Then we've got questions. So as they go through, there are questions that they'll be answering based on the Edpuzzle that they just watched. Now we're going to look at the teacher version side. Basically I can see every single one of the slides, and now we're going to look at the view work of the students. Right now we're on the student slides. Each of these stands for a student, and it shows you each of their slides. So let's get a closer look. So at this point of time, we see a student slide. All right, it says use the graph. So it has the kids' answers. Now these are the correct answers, but notice behind it there are little stickers. The great job says you got that one right, but notice she had gotten it wrong twice. And so what I did was I left her a message right here telling her what she did wrong.
All right, Abby, let's look at the ratio of birds to fish. So how many birds are there? Well, it looks like there are 15.
All right, so basically I'm able to give them immediate feedback. I can either write it I could type it, or I can leave them verbal feedback on each of their slides to do it and then finish it in another session.